Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag. This that you've just seen, the perlage, you need to be very skilled and very good.
Some of Hermès products are made in China. Towels are from Fuyue in Shandong. They also make products for Chanel and IKEA. Beddings are from Yue in Shandong. Men's shoes are from Shachi in Shandong. Tableware in Jiangsu.
Picture this. You walk into a Hermès boutique. The air thick with exclusivity. The floors gleaming. The staff dressed like luxury itself. You've waited months, maybe years, for this moment. A Birkin bag is offered, and you hand over $20,000 like it's your golden ticket into an elite club. But what if I told you that bag wasn't even made in France? That most of it was crafted thousands of miles away in a Chinese factory you've never heard of. And now Hermès is suing the same factories that helped build their empire because those factories dared to tell the truth. This isn't a story about knockoffs. This is about the luxury industry's biggest lie finally blowing up. For decades, Hermès has sold us a fantasy, a world of artisans in Parisian ateliers, delicately hand-stitching each bag like it's a sacred ritual. Their marketing paints a picture of candlelit workshops, leather whispering under the touch of decades-trained hands, and master artisans spending 20, 30 hours on a single bag. It's a romantic idea, right? You're not just buying a purse. You're buying a story, a legacy. But according to industry insiders and some very brave whistleblowers, that story is more fiction than fact. And when you follow the leather trail, it doesn't end in France. It leads straight to Shandong, China.
It was my first time shopping at Hermès, and let me tell you how it went.
We got a lot of requests, do Hermès next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park.
Italy, made in China. Or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. Because some brands get real creative when it comes to made in labels.
Yes, that's Shandong, a Chinese province known for high-level manufacturing, not luxury fashion lore. Reports now say that up to 80% of Hermès bags are not just assembled, but fully crafted in Chinese factories. And no, we're not talking about cheap copies. These are the real deal, bags made under contract with Hermès, using the same materials, same methods, and same workers, just in a different country. Once those bags are 95% finished, Hermès reportedly ships them to France, adds a snap or a stamp, and voila, made in France. So when these Chinese manufacturers decided they were tired of staying silent, Hermès hit the panic button. Instead of admitting the deception or issuing a statement, they went on the legal attack, filing lawsuits for intellectual property theft and defamation. But here's the kicker. These factories were under official contract with Hermès and other major luxury brands like Chanel and Louis Vuitton. These weren't rogue operations. They were the backbone of the industry. And now Hermès is acting like they just discovered their existence. Let's bring in Tanner Leatherstein. If you've spent any time on Fashion Talk or YouTube recently, you've seen him. He's the leather guy, the one who buys luxury bags, films himself cutting them open, and exposes what's inside. Not metaphorically, literally. And what he finds is shocking. Bags sold for tens of thousands of dollars, made from leather and hardware no better than what you'd find on a $100 dupe. Tanner's not some hater. He's spent over $100,000 of his own money buying and dissecting bags, analyzing every stitch, every lining, every hidden corner.
She put the finishing touches on a Kelly, the most difficult bag to build. It starts with 30 distinct cuts of leather and can take 20 hours to complete, 4 hours for just the handle. There are no manuals or cheat sheets. Artisans rely on their training and muscle memory to make every bag.
So Hermès has put out a response to China, and they have like a video in a factory sort of showing people trying to show that they're actually the ones who are making the bags in a factory somewhere in France.
What Tanner exposed about Hermès shook the internet. According to his tests, a typical Birkin bag costs about $600 to make, with quality leather, good metal hardware, and skilled labor included. So where does the other $19,400 go? Branding, marketing, perceived exclusivity. And that last one? It's not just an accident, it's by design. Hermès created a system where people feel lucky to be allowed to buy their products, where buying a bag becomes a rite of passage, not a transaction. But all that mystique is unraveling. And let's be real, this isn't just a Hermès problem. Prada, Chanel, Louis Vuitton, they're playing the same game. They produce almost the entire product in China, sometimes even in the same factories as dupes or mid-tier brands, and then finish it off in Europe with a zipper or stamp. That's enough to legally call it made in Italy or made in France. It's all about technicalities, and brands know that label changes everything. You're not just paying for craftsmanship, you're paying for a feeling of class, status, superiority.
Spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
Almost finished bags from China factories, back to their own factories, and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that.
Now let's talk about the resale market, which until recently was booming. Birkins used to be flipped like real estate, double or triple the original price, sometimes more. But since these exposés dropped, resale value is plummeting. Collectors are nervous, buyers are skeptical. And those once exclusive bags, they're starting to lose their shine. Because when you realize your $26,000 purse was made in the same facility as a $300 dupe, you start to ask uncomfortable questions. And luxury does not like questions. This whole illusion is reinforced by celebrity endorsement. You see Cardi B, Kylie Jenner, Kim Kardashian flexing their Birkins, and suddenly the bag becomes a goal, a dream. But here's the plot twist. Many of those bags are gifted, some are on loan, and yes, some are fakes. Even A-list celebrities wear dupes and tag the real brand. Why? To keep up appearances, maintain their image, and stay in the fashion game without burning through their actual income. And the brands, they don't care. As long as the name is trending, the illusion lives on. Even influencers are in on the game. Ever seen those luxury haul videos? The unbox my new Hermès bag with me TikToks? 9 times out of 10, those bags are PR drops or brand deals. The creators didn't pay a dime. But the impression they give of aspiration, exclusivity, and success, that sells. You think, if I save up, maybe I can get one too. That's the cycle. The consumer pays full price, the influencer gets paid, and the brand laughs all the way to the bank.
Chinese supplier behind product. Bags are from Sitong Handbag in Dongguan City, Guangdong Province. It's a factory specializing in handbags for 54 years, and it produces 80% of the world luxury bags.
Making his boots in China, and that is these boots right here. This is pretty much the Ugg boot that like most Americans will have in their house. I was very pissed off when I found out the truth because I grew up in Southern California. I remember being in elementary school when I would only see 2 people in the entire school wearing Ugg boots, and they were always the cool surfer kids.
Where I keep all my purses. This one here is really special. If my house was on fire, I would take this one out of all of them.
But let's get into the psychological side of Hermès. You can't just walk in and buy a Birkin. You need a purchase history, which means buying scarves, belts, homeware, and accessories you probably don't want just to prove your loyalty. Only then, maybe, will they offer you a bag. This isn't retail. This is luxury gatekeeping, and people fall for it because Hermès doesn't sell products. They sell validation, the right to say, I was chosen. And when you look at it like that, it starts to feel more like a cult than a company. Cardi B once shared how her daughter, Culture, drew all over her $60,000 Birkin with markers. And while the internet laughed, the message was clear. These bags aren't priceless heirlooms. They're hyped-up accessories marketed as treasures. If even the rich don't treat them like sacred items, why should anyone else? It's the illusion of value, not the item itself that's being sold. So what is Hermès doing now? They're suing, not fixing, not apologizing, not clarifying. They're launching a legal smokescreen, accusing the very factories they depended on of betrayal. But let's be honest, what they're really mad about is being exposed. They wanted to keep the magic alive, and these factories ruined the trick. It's like finding out your favorite magician wasn't using real magic, just sleight of hand and smoke machines.
most of those bags I cut open, just expensive, nothing special. But if you...
This scandal couldn't have come at a worse time for Hermès. The US is cracking down with tariffs on Chinese imports, which means global brands must now be more transparent about where their products are made. Hermès is sweating because the spotlight is no longer just on their bags, it's on their ethics, their pricing, and their credibility. And consumers? They're finally waking up. The fairy tale is cracking. At its core, this isn't just about bags, it's about deception. Luxury brands have spent decades conditioning us to believe that Chinese-made means cheap and low quality, while European-made means elite and masterful. But that narrative is outdated and dangerous. Because in today's world, Chinese factories often have better machines, better processes, and more skilled workers than their European counterparts. The only difference is branding. One whistleblower even claimed she bought UGG boots for $5 from the same Chinese factory that makes the official ones, minus the logo. And that's the real plot twist. Many of these products you worship, they come from the exact same places as your affordable alternatives. The only thing that changes is the tag and the price. That $60,000 Birkin and that $300 dupe might just be cousins. And no one wants to hear that when they have been saving for a decade. Even celebrities, stylists, and influencers are part of the scam. Some are allegedly buying fakes, tagging the real brand, and getting invited to Fashion Week because of it. Because in luxury, image is everything. Authenticity, optional, truth, negotiable. As long as you look rich, that's enough, and it's not just celebrities. Entire marketing teams are built around keeping this illusion alive.
Nothing is as humbling as your daughter drawing on your $60,000 Birkin. Am I right?
Yeah. I couldn't even be mad at her because when I asked her, I was like, I wanted to see if she was gonna tell me the truth. I was like, Coach, did you draw on mommy's purse?
Literally spent $60,000 on this purse. Look what my daughter did to my purse.
And let's not forget, the average consumer is losing. We're the ones spending rent money on bags made in China, hyped by celebs who got them for free, designed by brands that care more about profits than transparency. It's a rigged game, and the customer is always the one left holding the bag, literally. So what now? Will Hermès come clean? Will luxury brands rebrand and shift toward honesty? Probably not, because the illusion is too profitable. But what we can do is stop buying blindly. Stop assuming that a high price equals high quality. Stop believing that Europe equals excellence and China equals cheap. And most importantly, start asking questions. So here's the real question I want you to answer. Now that you know the truth, would you still pay $20,000 for a Birkin bag if it had a Made in China tag? Do you think influencers and celebrities should be more transparent about their brand deals and fake hauls? Are luxury brands still worth the hype? Or have we been played for clout? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's get real about the luxury scam. And if you're side-eyeing your favorite fashion house right now, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe for more fashion exposés, celebrity call-outs, and everything the industry doesn't want you to hear. The rabbit hole runs deep, and trust me, we're just getting started.